Hi everyone, welcome to to Falls from Iron. Oh dear, I'm gonna get so much stick. And here's our intro. There you go. I've got it out the way. For those of you that are wondering what that was all about, watch yesterday's show, skip to about the last 10 minutes and it'll all be revealed. So I am very lucky to be joined by West Ham Online. Duke is currently getting his headset sorted out. At least I hope he is. West Ham Online, how are you, sir?
Apart from my seemingly dodgy potato Wi-Fi at the moment, I'm doing well.
Oh, no, that's not good. So, well, you're doing better than West Ham's back four did yesterday.
Oh, anything's doing better than that. Bottle jobs.
Well, to be fair, I mean, we were doing so well for the first, 30, 35 minutes of that match. And then it all just turned on its head. I mean, their first goal was absolutely key to them to a complete momentum shift, in my opinion. But what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I agree. I think if we don't concede before half-time, we end up winning the game. I thought Lacazette was good all night, but that... Not all night, all game, but that goal itself was quite lucky, actually. It deflected off. Souček was obviously going quite far wide, and it changed the momentum, and we were on the back foot for the rest of it.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes that's all you need, though. It's that little bit of luck, or in our case, bad luck. Oh, look, hang on. Here he is. There you go. There you go.
I'm here.
Yeah. Well, you should have been here like nearly 2 minutes ago, but we'll gloss over that.
Listen, what happens is, the call of nature and stuff. So, these things are unfortunate. It happens. I did say, hang on a minute when I walked out. You didn't hang on a minute. So it really is all on you, isn't it? Let's not mess around, hippo boy.
We got 6 viewers. They'd have been sitting there waiting an extra 2 minutes.
Listen,
they'd have gone
they would have
somewhere
been.
else.
They would have waited because they
them.
want to know what happens with what happens next. Okay. So have you did the introduction video? Fantastic.
I've done the intro. I've got that humiliation out of the way.
You say humiliation, but I think it's just a bit of fun.
Milesy.
Good evening, Andy. How you doing?
Who else we got? We got Scott. How you doing, mate? We also got Mr. Fever.
No.
Not here. No. Not being done here. Miles' got to be. Oh, hello. We're up to 163. It was 162 last time I looked.
Hey, what can I say? We're doing well.
But we was just discussing with West Ham Online, Duke, whilst you was answering your call of nature.
Yes.
Basically about the game yesterday, it all turning on a sixpence.
If I'm honest, mate. Goal. If I'm honest, right, and I will be honest because that's what this channel's all about. If it wasn't for the channel, I don't want to talk about it. All right.
Thank you for coming and good night, everyone.
Yeah, basically. I mean, listen. Do I have to? Like, seriously, I can't. Like, I'm frustrated. More than anything else, I'm frustrated. So I was the first one to be buzzing, like James was, and I know he's going to make comment in a second. That lineup that we put out was absolutely on the money. As far as I'm concerned, it was where we wanted it to be. The front four were exactly what we asked for. We didn't. We pulled no surprises with regards to the back six. If you want the back seven, you are indeed one, sir. Yes. Yeah, I did do the garden. Thank you, James. And I nearly, and I very nearly knocked a bird's nest out of the tree. So I had to stop myself. But I got quite a bit of it done. We're looking good. It's like me and James. He knows. Granfuls. So yeah, listen. We got the lineup we wanted, and we got the first 34 minutes that we wanted. To be fair, didn't we? Let's not mess around. What we got was exactly what we were hoping for. Now, Jared Bowen came off the pitch at the end of the game and stated the players sat back and they're all frustrated with themselves that they did so. Then why do it? Listen, we put them to the sword in the first 30 odd minutes. Why? Listen, I know your comment earlier, Gatesy, was that did we stop playing or did Arsenal start to play? I couldn't give two monkeys. If we carried on doing what we were doing, we would have still opened them up and we would have still carried on doing what we needed to do. So I find it incredibly frustrating. I'm annoyed that we let it slip. On the flip side to that, okay, 6 games ago, I stated 2 wins, 2 draws, 2 defeats. Okay, I stated wins against Leeds and Sheffield United. I went with draws against Arsenal and Spurs, and I went with defeats against the 2 Manchester clubs. I predicted 8 points out of 6 games. We've walked away with 10. I can't be angry. I can't be pissed off. And I refuse. I'm disappointed in the game yesterday, but I'm not disappointed in where we now sit after the 6 games. I expected 2 points less, but on the other side to that, the teams around us have caught up. I was kind of hoping that we'd get a little bit more gap between us. You know, you look at Everton, and if they win their game in hand, they're level on points, although we have a better goal difference. And we still have to play them, Chelsea and Leicester as part of our final 9. So it's frustrating, mate. But listen, if you'd said to me that I would have been happy with my 6 points or my 10 points out of my 6 games, I would have ripped your arm off. To be honest, I would have taken it. So
you said about the starting lineup. So there it is for everyone.
Every single one.
Yeah. Well, but West Ham Online. In your opinion, is that as strong a lineup as we could have put out, or is there any alterations you think you'd have maybe considered making?
Yeah, on paper, that is the best lineup I would have gone for. In terms of the back line, it is the one I would have gone for, but I'm not sure if maybe they had something bad to eat before the game or a dodgy stomach, because that back line was full of crap yesterday. Terrible defensively, no structure, and they all just looked like headless chickens, Duracell bunnies. It was embarrassing to watch defensively. I thought Dawson had his worst game for the club, and on the face of it, that's the lineup I would have gone for. But defensively, embarrassing yesterday.
Yeah. Scott's just made a comment. Nothing changed from the end of the first half to the beginning of the second. Did Moyes give the sit back and defend team talk rather than get another and put the result to bed? Yeah, I think you have to ask that question, Scott, in all fairness. What do you boys think?
I was just about to reply to Scott in the chat. Actually, I was just typing as you brought his message up, and no is the answer. Moyes. I don't think Moyes had anything to do with it, because that last 10 minutes of that first half was exactly where our capitulation started. And that wasn't Moyes. That wasn't the Moyes decision to do that. I think that was the players, to a degree, taking it upon themselves and deciding to sit back. They did it with 10 minutes to go in the first half. Now, did they go in at half time, and did Moyes make a comment of, we need to stay tight because they're getting back into it? And by doing that, we weren't playing the free-flowing football that we did in the first, 35 minutes. Because of that, they continued to put us under pressure. We sat back, we tightened up. The left and the right backs came in slightly to create more of a. We call it, I think you commented earlier, Gatesy. We kind of ended up with like 4 centre backs spread across because they weren't out wider. Listen, it's no. I said on Rassie B's channel earlier, I don't think that you can blame Moyes for any of that. That for me was on the players. What's that? You can't blame the back four. Yeah, you're right. He didn't.
It's a team game.
Yeah, he didn't, and I think it was noted. Yeah, it was noted that Ben Rama didn't track. It was noted that Ben Rama didn't track yesterday, and fair enough, But then, to be fair, I think every single one of us before the start of the game didn't pinpoint that was going to be a problem on that side. You know, with Chambers, we thought that Ben Rama would be giving Chambers a headache rather than Chambers giving Cresswell a headache.
Well,
so,
absolutely. I mean,
just
to bring it up there, I mean, that was the Arsenal team lineup. And to be fair, when I saw it, the first thing I said was Callum Chambers. That's who we need to target.
We all
well,
did, mate.
I've got to be honest.
Yeah.
He made me look rather foolish because he was one of their better players.
Well, again, I don't think that was the issue, really. We all pinpointed that as being him being the weakness. West Ham Online. I know you mentioned a couple of times yesterday that you felt that our left side, you know, obviously with Ben Rama not tracking, I think you said it a couple of times yesterday that it could be our downfall. Would you look at that? Do you think that we can't? We need to. We need to figure a way of with Ben Rama learning how to defend.
Yeah, I can sort of see why Moyes prefers to start with Fornals in big games in that sense. I'd still start Ben Rama, don't get me wrong, but I can see where he's coming from in the sense that he's defensively he falls asleep. Ben Rama, whereas Fornals is always on it. I've mentioned his running stats are one of the best in the team. Ben Rama's aren't quite up to his numbers. So I do think that Cresswell was exposed offensively. Because the first 30 minutes of the game, I thought Cresswell was fantastic, arguably the best player on the pitch. And then after that, like the rest of the team, he was put under a lot of pressure. They stepped it up, obviously, Arsenal. And as I say, I don't think any of it was down to Moyes because, like you just mentioned, it happened midway through the first half, not straight away at half-time. I do blame the players in sitting back. And for me, that's just a mentality issue. I don't know why we did that. And hopefully this game will iron that out of their game, if that makes sense. Because this game could make or break us in terms of mentality and the way that we fell backwards. Hopefully we iron that out of our game next time we're in a big game like a Chelsea or a team like that.
Yeah. I mean, James makes the point there. You have to respect that Arsenal are a good side. If it was Burnley, then I would be fuming. And yeah, I mean, I said it on another stream that, you know, Arsenal have the offensive capabilities when they click to do that to pretty much any team in the Premier League.
Yeah, they do. I thought Arsenal were brilliant. I thought Chambers, as you said, I thought Chambers' crossing was unbelievable yesterday. I don't know where that came from because every other time I've watched him, he couldn't cross a zebra crossing, let alone what was happening yesterday.
Yeah.
And on that
Andy
seamless link, on that seamless link of zebras, how much trouble did you get into, Gatesy? We all need to know this. We all need to know. I mean, I saw earlier the clout around the back of the head that was off camera. I'd like to point out, I saw that, everyone. I saw his missus walk past and dash him up the side of the head and knock his headphones off. So, Gatesy, talk to us. Let us know.
Listen, my wife is very understanding. That's all you need to know. That's all anybody watching needs to know. I have a very understanding wife. Yeah, I mean, Chambers can play at centre back and right back, and we know that he's Moyes likes versatility, doesn't he?
Gatesy, what I do have to say is, can you get my slow-mo video of the hippo I sent you up in a little while on the video?
No, I can't. You'll probably wrote. Oh, hello. Oh God, what's he doing now? So immature. I apologize for this, viewers.
Listen, I never pretended we were anything else than what we are. All right, I've never pretended that we are the most professional outfit out there. All right, so listen, if you have to sit there with Marty the Zebra underneath yours for the time being, so be it.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you very much. Scott makes the point. If Antonio puts that chance away when we was at 3-2, we wouldn't be talking about Ben Rama and his defensive duties. Very frustrating. Now, here's the thing, and I've said this on a couple of the other streams that I've been on of late. Ben Rama, did we spend 25 million quid on him on the back of his defensive displays for Brentford?
No.
Yes or no? No, exactly.
Sadly not, no.
If and a stick
No.
that he's often beaten with is, he hasn't scored a goal and he's only got 4 assists. If he puts a ball on a plate for a striker, as he has done not just yesterday, but the Crystal Palace game, remember that? How many times did Antonio hit the woodwork from balls played through by Ben Rama? I think it was 3 times, wasn't it? So that straight away is 4
hit one straight
goals.
At the keeper as well.
Yeah. So, that's 5 in essence. 5 chances, 5 golden opportunities that another player has created for a striker. Now, if the striker doesn't score, then the guy that's provided the ball doesn't get the assist. If Antonio had had his shooting boots on, he'd probably have, 8, 9, 10, who knows, assists. But he hasn't. And he's getting...
Yeah, I think that's the frustrating thing. Yeah.
For something, for a failure of a striker. And I love Mickey. But the facts are, if he puts the chances away, or even half of the chances away that Ben Rama's created for him, everyone's going to look at Ben Rama's stats and go, he's created 8. He's got 8 assists, and he all of a sudden looks so much better. I don't know. Like I say, I just get the because it's like I say, he doesn't track back, he doesn't defend. Well, we didn't pay 25 million quid for a defender. We paid 25 million quid.
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
So there you go. Just my little opinion. We missed Oggy massively yesterday, positionally and organisationally. Ken, 100%. I mean, I think if Oggy plays there instead of Diop, for me, we don't sort of lose a 3-goal lead at home. I'm sorry, we just don't. I mean, West Ham Online. I know you're not his biggest fan, but talk to me about Diop's performance yesterday.
Not good enough. I just don't think it was good enough. He's a highlights defender, if that makes sense. He done that overhead kick off the line, but overall his organisation, his positioning, his marking is toddler-esque. Honestly, I think I'm a better marker than him, and I'm shocking in defence. Just wasn't good enough, just like my Wi-Fi right now.
Who was it you gave a mark on Hammer's polls when you were helping James yesterday, and I popped on, and was it Dawson you gave? Was it him you gave 2, or was it Diop a mark of 2 out of 10? No. Oh, is his Wi-Fi dropped out? Yep. Oh, I did wonder when I didn't.
Look, he's in there shaking his head. Here we go. There's going to be something controversial coming in. Coming in, Fever.
Bring him in.
I got him, yeah.
Hello. I can't believe what I'm hearing about Diop. I can't believe what I'm hearing about Diop, but no one mentions about Cresswell turning his back and not seeing anything of Chambers beside him. I can't work that out.
Cresswell didn't have his best game either.
Like, don't get me wrong. I thought Diop played all right yesterday. I don't know about you. I thought he was all right. He was all right in the air. Let's if we're going to assess it, assess the first half and then assess the second half. If we're going to assess it properly, because first half I thought both him and Dawson were phenomenal.
James, the problem is Diop is a highlights defender. His positioning and his marking is terrible. Like he can't organise a back 4. If he was at the war, he'd be in the trenches all the time.
Nah, I'm sorry. I've got to disagree with you on this one, 100%. And I will back Diop up. And I'm the biggest. I will criticise Diop till the cows come home, right? And I've not. Do you know what I mean? And I have criticised the man, right? When Cresswell on the second goal, where's Cresswell? No one's criticising Cresswell here and turning around and saying, well, where Callum Chambers just runs off him.
I agree. That was poor. That was really poor.
And let's be honest, Dawson wasn't the world beater player that we had yesterday either. So if you can't just go out and criticise one lad, right? the whole of the back four, even Kafal.
I gave him a 2. I gave Dawson a 2
Even Kafal. I love Kafal. I think Kafal's he's my hammer of the year, and I love him to bits, right? But he didn't play great. But we've got to give Arsenal a bit of credit here. Like, I've seen it on different platforms. I've seen it on Twitter and everything else. But Arsenal are a good side, and we scored 3 goals past them in 30 minutes, right? Don't you think that they were prepared for the onslaught that they was going to get if they lost 4 or 5-0 against us? They had to do something, and and Eldegaard is a world-class player.
He was something else yesterday.
He was brilliant yesterday. I mean,
to be fair, respect your opponents. Do you know what I mean?
Oh, to be fair to Arsenal, their comeback was absolutely brilliant. If I was a neutral, then I'd be absolutely like, wow. But obviously, I wasn't. So, but then again, guys, you know, we did it earlier this season. We was 3-0 down at Spurs. And we come back there, and this is the other side of that coin.
Swings and roundabouts, isn't it?
Exactly.
Like you say, the other side of the coin. We've got I was frustrated yesterday with everyone. I was like, sorry, the same as everyone that we'd thrown it away. And I kind of calmed down a little bit the longer the evening went on. And I took myself out of the emotion of it and just tried to dissect it as it was. And by doing that, I got to where you are, James, and you got there quite quickly last night. Actually, I saw the tweets and everything else, you know, on that you put out. And you know what, you're right. At the end of the day, you look at they had what, 7 attacking players on at the end of the game.
They had. I'll tell you, they had Lacazette, Eldegaard, Pepe, Martinelli. That's 4. They had obviously had Lacazette on. They had Xhaka on. So by the time these, you got to understand something, right? We are punching well above our station, right? As a club,
massively this season.
And I'll tell you what, it proves it from the subs bench when they're bringing on Pepe and Martinelli. We're bringing on Ryan Fredericks and Noble. And no disrespect, but that's blowing everyone out the fucking water, isn't it? Let's be honest here. Do you know what I mean? Like,
it's not. Yeah, that's not good enough.
It's not good enough, right? Now, everyone said about, we should have won and all that, right? If Antonio puts that chance away, we're all sitting here right now loving life. And that's what you get. If every striker in the Premier League, top quality, if they're a top decent striker, puts that away. And Antonio's a good striker, but he's not top quality. Like, he's not.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Harry Kane puts that away. Let's have a think. Rashford would put that away. There's other players who would put that away, no problem. Sterling would put that away. You know what I mean? Do you know what I mean? At the end of the day, you've got to respect your opponents. And I'm seeing people criticising Benrahma like he's a scapegoat, and I find that totally wrong. And I will back him up 100% because there's that 4-man attack was phenomenal. For 30 minutes, we blew Arsenal out the water. Do you know what I mean? The only thing where I think it went wrong, in my opinion, was Thomas Souček was getting overrun, and Rice, and that is where it all started to go wrong. And they realised Dan Cresswell's side was easy to get to, and that's where it all started. That's where it started to unravel. Do you know what I mean? Like, you can't. Like, I'm not being funny enough. I've seen West Ham online slagging off Diop. Now tell me how well Diop played in the first half. Like, you can't, if you're going to judge someone, judge him over 90. Don't judge him over 45. Do you know what I mean? Like, he was good in the first half. Second half, Arsenal come out and reacted phenomenally.
Yeah, but if you're going to judge someone over 90, how did you give I
think he's. I think he's Antonio, maybe.
Yeah, I think he's Antonio gets 2 assists, but let's be honest here. What good are them 2 assists, or he's been involved in all the goals when the man misses from 3 yards out and basically costs us the win? Let's get real. Like, at the end of the day, we're going to be real about it. Right, the ball comes in. If he puts that away, that's 4-2. Good night, Arsenal. Good night. 3 points, and that is the reason why we're there and there. And Arsenal might be down there, but they've got £1 million worth of talent. Right, Lacazette, right, has one chance, bang, goal. That's it. Like, do you know what I mean? He has another chance with his head, bang, goal. And that's the difference. Like, how many chances, right, did we have in that second half? Bowen has a chance. Antonio, it comes to him. He goes near post. Why don't he go far post? Because he's not a natural striker. So it's not being overcritical. I respect any team that puts effort in. If that would have been against Burnley, for instance, or Crystal Palace, then I would have turned around and gone, I would have been fuming. Steam would have been coming out my ears, everything. But you got to respect Arsenal. They got Lacazette 50 million, Pepe 72 million, Aubameyang 60 million. Do you know what I mean? You work out our team. You know what I mean?
Andy, you've been sitting there patiently, mate. Fire away, my friend.
Yeah, no. If anything, Dawson was our worst player in the back line.
No, he sucked. Yeah, he was rubbish.
And as you can see by my name, Diop was the best defender. And without him, we would have lost. We would have lost because that goal goes in straight away in the second half. We would have probably lost 5-3, 6-3 even. The way that momentum was going. Creswell was just exposed, like I said. That wasn't. I'm not digging out Ben Rama, Lingard, or anyone. Someone should be taking control of that front four, saying we're under pressure a bit. One of us, even if they take it in turns, every 5 minutes, someone helping Creswell out. But no one done it. That's my opinion on it.
Do you think though, Andy, that's where, in theory, Rice should have probably shifted over, 10, 15 feet, and maybe Lingard or Bowen dropping in to try and help out Souček in there, because obviously, if you look at it, Rice is more of a defensive player. Rice has more of a defensive mind on him compared to, any of those front four, and probably even to a degree Souček. He's got more of a defensive brain on him. He started out as a centre-back, so therefore he has that defensive brain on him. So as captain, shouldn't have Rice kind of recognised that, shuffled over slightly, and maybe pulled Bowen in, or that looks really good, Rob. Pull Bowen in, or drop Lingard back probably 20 foot. I'm not saying it would have done wonders there, but there you get the automatic support out on the left for Cresswell, and we still have the options of three, if you will, up front. You've still got Bowen, or if Bowen doesn't drop in or Lingard doesn't drop in, you've got one of them two plus Antonio and Ben Rama.
Yeah, I agree with you saying, but then Arsenal were very cute. Odegaard didn't move anywhere out wide. He just stuck there between Rice and Souček and the front line. If they left that, I think we would have been exposed even more. So I can understand that. And like what everyone's saying, Souček didn't have his best game, but Arsenal, that's why Odegaard is a Real Madrid player and on loan. Do you know what I mean? He's clever, and they done it well. Tierney just stuck on the wing. Saka was, and Chambers. If we're out wide, we would have got outdone, and in the middle, we couldn't adjust to it. And that's not. I'm not slugging the team off for it. That's why Arsenal have put them forward.
That's why I said about Thomas Partey, mate, because Thomas Partey was the man who kept getting the ball and giving it to Odegaard, and that's why I kept saying in different previews and different things. Right, you stop Partey, you stop Arsenal, because he's the start point of their team. So I'll make you 100% right, Andy. What you're saying.
Andy's a prick for fucking falling on the floor like he got shot.
Yeah.
Now I'm going to go back to a comment that Kent's made. You buy Ben Rama, you play a game of chance with him because he will let the fullbacks run. And if the opposition move breaks down, Ben Rama has yards to run into. It's a risk-reward game with Ben Rama. Now, I floated this as an idea, and this is it could be a wacky idea. Is there any value in swapping the starting positions of Ben Rama and Antonio and just having Ben Rama as a central striker, and then he's kind of absolved from defensive duties, and Antonio can be the guy protecting Cresswell more? I mean, you got any thoughts on that?
I'll tell you the best way of doing it. I'll tell you the best way of doing it to everyone here now. Get a better left back. Because a better left back doesn't get exposed the way Cresswell gets exposed. right? And I think it's as simple as that. Cresswell, we love him. Yeah, he's been decent for us. But yesterday he got flat out massively, mate. And I'm sorry, but that second goal, if you go back and watch that second goal, he's following the ball. He doesn't even see Chambers. He don't even. And what does it for me is usually when you're playing football, everyone's played football at some point. Yeah, you look around to see who's around you, and he does not even look round. He follows. His eyes go to one thing. He doesn't even see Callum running down the right hand side. And then before then, the ball's in the box, and then Dawson puts it in.
He gets caught ball watching, James, doesn't he?
He does, mate. He does. I love Cresswell. Right, I think he's been a good servant for West Ham, but you've also got to accept the fact that when he's up against pace, the man gets exposed quite quickly, and it happened. It's happened multiple times now when he's up against pace. Why do you think they go 5 at the back? Because they got put Ben Johnson out there because he's younger and athletic. Do you know what I mean? And it says it all. What do I think about the Ben Rama thing going up front? I thought that system was absolutely perfect. The 4-2-3-1. Every position was perfect. Duke put it out there, and I was like that, hoping that team come out. And when that team come out, I was buzzing about that team. I thought this team's got pace, either flank. It's got Lingard going through the middle. It's got Antonio going to bully their defence. And for 32 minutes, we was 3-0 up and we was cruising. But then you got to look at your defenders, ain't you?
For me, if you're considering Ben Rama as a forward, I think Fornals comes in instead of Antonio.
Okay.
If we start, No. I'm not saying that's the first choice. What I'm saying is we could have that. Say, for example, I don't know, 70th minute, Antonio looks like his legs.
Oh, right. Yeah, I get what you... Yeah, I agree.
You put Ben Rama up front and keep Fornals in the thing.
Yep.
Yeah,
I agree.
No, you know why, Andy? And Peach, I'm going to come to you in a second because you've been very patient this evening, and that must be quite difficult for you. I've got to say, you haven't said anything yet. Andy, would you not keep Antonio for the last 20, 25 minutes and start Ben Rama up front and start Fornals out on the left, Bowen on the right, Lingard in behind? Listen, even if we turn around and go to Lingard and Ben Rama, you two swap constantly. Ben Rama drops into the 10, Lingard goes forward. Lingard drops back, Ben Rama goes forward. And leave them two wide players. Because to be fair, I thought Jared Bowen had a good defensive game yesterday. I really thought we did quite well out there. I mean, there was a couple of times when Tierney got in and beyond. And listen, it was always going to happen, but it was only a couple of times. It wasn't, and whatever he did, it wasn't a momentous occasion. He whipped in a couple of crosses and we dealt with them. Pete, what was your feeling when that third goal went in, when we went 3-0 up? Where was you at in your mind?
I was crying.
Or out of your mind?
I was crying. My blood clot eyes out, dog. Because, I knew I was overreacting. I was watching Hammer's Chat live watch along. I knew Charlito was overreacting, and I knew we were going to get spurred, man. And we got spurred, man.
Yeah,
exactly what happened.
I mean, Gatesy, when their first one, and I mean, let's be honest, we scored 5 goals yesterday. Let's not dick around it.
Yeah.
We scored 5 goals.
Yeah.
Well, I think we're one of the only teams in the Premier League to score 5 goals and not and draw 3-3. It's ridiculous.
Right. Right.
Gatesy, when they scored their first, what was it? Lacazette deflected off the Souček, wasn't it? And
yeah.
It was, let's be honest, after about the 5 minutes of play that they had, they must have had, so much pressure on us. I messaged you, didn't I?
We could have gone in at half time, locked at 3-3, because don't forget, Saka had a chance at 3-1.
What a
and
player.
Then there was the block that Dawson did as well that went behind for the corner.
Yeah.
So it wasn't inconceivable. We could have gone in locked at 3-3 at half time.
If I'm honest,
but that goal,
I'd rather have gone in at 3.
That goal changed everything. That first goal for them changed everything.
Everything.
If we get in at 3-0 at the break, that game's pretty much done.
Done
I'd
over.
rather have
Done
gone in at
dead.
3-all. I'd rather have gone in at 3-all and had that disappointing moment then, rather than the disappointment 7 minutes from time. Because that, honestly, and I don't know how the rest of you guys here feel, I felt like I crumbled. I crumbled a bit. Like, fuck's sake, like, how have we just?
Yeah, but
I kind of knew how Spurs felt, and I hate saying that. But I kind of knew how Spurs felt against us.
Yeah, but the thing is, if Antonio puts that away, we're celebrating a win. Like moments in games,
No doubt.
Like, do you know what I mean?
No doubt. No
Like,
doubt. If Bryce crossed that to Antonio rather than trying to take it on himself after that brilliant run,
if anyone's going to get
like result, James. Different.
At the end of the day, Antonio had 2 chances in the second half. The one where Bowen come in, Kieran Tierney
block.
Right, yeah, done the block, and he got a double save, right? Brilliant save, right, from him. Antonio goes near post, he should go far post, right? That's the first one. Yeah. Then obviously we had the little debacle with Moss and Lingard and Ben Rama running through. Now, to me, that was terrible decision from a ref, but we get onto that a bit later on. Yeah. Then Ben Rama gets through, skims the defender, gets to the byline, puts it across. Antonio's got an 18-foot goal to aim at, and he hits the post. Now, I'm sorry, but I know we're all sitting here deflated, but moments change games. And at the end of the day, if we had a top quality striker at this club, that goes in 4-2. Good night. Turn the lights out. We've just got 3 points, and we're going on the European tour. You see what I'm saying? I know. I might be coming across a bit sort of abrupt here, but as a fan, I've seen this so many times. I've seen us have so many strikers at this club for the last 25, 30 years of me being alive. Yeah, some of these players, right? Antonio's been a great servant for us, and I agree with Duke 1000%. The last 30 minutes of games, Antonio should be coming on. Antonio, not being funny, nothing. Who have we got to replace Antonio on the bench? An 18-year-old.
Nobody. Out of Echo, but nobody out of Echo ain't even up to scratch, man.
No. And we were discussing this earlier.
James, we should have got. I agree with what you said back in January. We should have got a striker.
The problem is with that, and we all know it as fans here, is that a striker was needed at the club. Right? Don't get me wrong. I'm knocking Antonio, but how many chances does Antonio need to score a goal? If some strikers in the Premier League only need 1 chance, bang, goal. And Gatesy summed it up brilliantly on. I don't know what one it was, Gatesy, because you've been on so many with me over the last couple of days, the last 24 hours, right? But he summed it up brilliantly. Yeah, Matthew Letizia back in the day didn't used to do nothing.
Striker.
Right? Didn't used to do nothing. Yeah, give him 1 chance, it's a goal.
Yeah,
and the thing is,
what about trying Lingard up front, maybe, man?
But there's been many players down the years like that.
That's a great comment from Scott there. Actually, I've just seen that.
Lingard up front, dog.
That was an idea floated before, wasn't it, Peach? They said when he come in, he can play as a false 9, to use that term.
And always does that. He did that with Arnautovic. Come on, man.
Do you know what I'd love? If you're going to do that, play Lingard as your striker, Ben Rama left, Bowen right, and Fornals as your 10.
No.
Yeah, but do
you not think we'll miss Lingard's drive through the midfield? Because the way Lingard drove with the ball through the midfield yesterday was brilliant. I don't think
the problem is, and do you know what? Do you know what's frightening about the whole thing, right? And Duke done the maths on it, is you look at our bench and you look at our squad, right? We are miles behind these teams, miles. It's in pounds sterling, right? If we're going to get we don't even match them in the top 8, right? No. And the thing is, that's the frightening thing about it. Everyone says about certain players and all that, and I get that. But Cresswell as a left back, put pace against him, gets exposed, right? I'm not even Kafal yesterday wasn't great. I love Kafal, but he wasn't great. But then you just got to look at it and go, look at that front four. That front four blasts a lot of teams out of the ground, if I'm honest. And I thought we was phenomenal.
Big time.
For 30 minutes of the game, we was phenomenal.
Yeah,
big time.
But like you say, if Antonio sticks away that chance, which Stevie Wonder would have scored that, it's a completely different game.
Stevie Wonder. And Ray Charles would have
Playing-
got that, dog. I ain't
Playing
even
devil's
saying you,
advocate,
man.
though,
Roy
I agree with
Orbison
what
would have been
James
in his
says.
heyday getting that, dog.
Playing devil's advocate, I do agree with what James says, though. We got to face facts. Arsenal are not a team of mugs. Arsenal
No,
are
they're
actually
not.
a pretty decent team. So,
Right.
you know, and
Let's go through their
Steve's
team.
actually just said what I'm about to go on and say in a nutshell. We are
Big up,
punching above
Steve.
our weight class this season. And that is absolutely true. You know,
If you look at Arsenal's team, right, Thomas Partey used to play for Atletico Madrid. Now, you don't go and play for
Yeah.
Simeone if you're not that good, right? That's the first thing. Right, then you go into Eldegaard, 15 years old, signed for Real Madrid. He's only 21 or
good.
22.
Class,
Class.
he's good,
was their
dog.
player
He
of
is
the
good.
match,
Yeah.
wasn't he?
Right,
He's
you got
potentially
Pepe.
world class.
You got Pepe. You got Lacazette. You got Aubameyang. You got Martinelli. Like these are all top. Yeah, like like even like
Harlem Globetrotters, son. Harlem Globetrotters, son.
they're a good
You're not
team.
wrong.
But do you know what I mean? And if we would have all sat here before the match and say, well, what would you have liked to happen? Obviously, we would all want the win, but we would have accepted the point. If we'd have lost the game yesterday, I think everyone here would have been like that, down and gone, you know what? I can't believe it. We've lost the game. But it's a point, right? And do you know what? I actually said it's a West Ham fan TV, and I say it here right now. It might be the start of something. Because that four-man attack, when have we, and I'm going to go to Duke and Gatesy on this, the pair of them, right? When have we ever seen a phenomenal front four?
Very
Not
good.
in a long time.
I'm struggling to think of one off the top of my head.
Yeah,
Not with this quality, I've got to say.
you're right, Duke.
I struggle to, you know, we can go back over the seasons and try and pick out, you know, specific kind of, you know, seasons where the players were there, like Sinclair, Canute, Di Canio, you know, that kind of. But with that pretty much would, you know, you could compare those players to this. You could. But what I saw yesterday, and this comment here from Scott. Oh, do it again, Gatesy. That one there tells me that, for me, I don't fear a negative formation, because at the end of the day, that Arsenal side, as James has said, are something else. They, you know, their front lot are outstanding. If we go out, and I'm pretty sure West Ham Online, Andy and Peter will agree here, James, as well, that if we go out and we do exactly that, like we did yesterday, but we put that in for 90 minutes, and I know it's going to be energy sapping. I know it's going to, but I'm not being funny. Other teams can do it to us, so why can't we go out and do it? Do you see what I mean? You know, Arsenal did it to us for 65 minutes yesterday. You know, the first 25 minutes of the game, I think we had 84% possession in the first 15 minutes, or 86. They had 14% possession. So then you look at the end of the game, and we ended up with what, 36, Gatesy, didn't we?
Bear with me. I shall just get.
I know you've got your stats because you love it. There you go.
Yeah.
There you
We
go.
end up with 50. We end up with
What kills me?
36.
What kills me is they had 2 shots on target. We had 3. They got 3 goals and we got 3. We got every shot that we shot on target, and they shot 2, and they got 3 goals thanks to us.
I must admit, Peach makes a good point there. Even my mate said that. He said, James, it seems like every time Arsenal have a shot, it's going in.
Yeah,
Can I just say,
It felt like that. I've got to say, it felt like that. But
can we?
like I say, I mean, Arsenal are a good team. You know, defensively, maybe they're a bit suspect, which is probably a large part of the reason why they're where they are. But they are a good team going forwards. My God, they're a good team. I mean, Ødegaard was just phenomenal for me yesterday. He was their player of the match by a country mile.
Yeah,
he was their player of the match by a country mile. It wasn't even close. I mean, he was using the ball brilliantly. I mean, he was finding Chambers. He was finding Saka at will.
Oh, Chambers played brilliant. That's unlike him, dog. Chambers played magic yesterday. I couldn't believe it.
Yeah.
I've got a question for Andy on West Ham Online, boys. So you're in Moyes' seat after the international break. So I'll start with Andy, and then we'll go to West Ham Online for his answer. Andy, do you stick with that same starting 11 that we started with yesterday against Wolves?
No, because I think Bonner's back.
If Bonner's back,
Bonner
he comes
for
straight
Diop?
to Diop, doesn't he?
No, Dawson.
You reckon?
Okay.
Brave?
I said Diop for me is just think who you're going to be playing against. Adama Traore, Neto. Dawson's got no chance.
Fair enough.
And the change what I would make is if he isn't, we'll have the added options to come off the bench. Is Masuaku's fit?
And we might have him back, Milesy. We might have him back, Doc.
Yeah.
The one change for me, would be if Bonner's fit, Dawson out and Bonner in.
West Ham Online?
I completely get what Andy's saying in the fact of the pace, but you can't. The partnership Ogbonna and Dawson had before Ogbonna got injured was formidable. To break that apart for a partnership that at the end of last season was nowhere near as good as the Ogbonna-Dawson partnership would be stupid for me, personally. Look at the way Dawson, for example, dealt with Zaha, who's a much better player, not as quick, but a much better player in the final third than an Adama Traore, who I personally think is arguably the most overrated player in the league. He's a Duracell bunny winger, and he's not got any product. So for me, it has to be Dawson and Ogbonna. Apart from that, I think we might consider bringing Fornals back into the team, but I agree with James in the fact that front four is frightening. And it shouldn't be broken apart, because I don't know what you guys think, but I thought Bowen looked right back to it yesterday. I thought it was his best game in 2021, actually.
Completely agree with that one.
Peach, I don't need to say behave yourself.
Steady.
Yeah, Peach, touching on what we said earlier with regards to Ben Rama starting up top and bringing Antonio off the bench, would you support Cresswell on the Wolves game by actually making them changes and putting Ben Rama up top on his own, bringing Fornals, out to the left to support Cresswell? Would you make that change against Wolves, or would you?
I like Fornals out the middle, straight up. I think Fornals is he's good on the left, but he's also good up the middle. I'd have Fornals, Ben Rama, Fornals, Ben Rama, Lingard, and Antonio. Bowen maybe can't come on as a sub, man.
Fair enough, Gatesy.
I think I'm going to slightly disagree with Peach. I think it was you you, James, that said earlier about maybe having Antonio as an impact sub.
Yeah.
Oh, I agree with that. I agree with that. 100. I agree with that. I agree with that too, Doc.
I mean, whether you put Bowen as the central striker or whether you put Lingard. I mean, I'd probably go with Lingard myself.
Me too, Doc. With
Bowen myself as the central striker and Lingard operating in midfield, because I just think that we get so much more. His involvement would sort of be a lot more beneficial to our attacking sort of play, if you will, if operating from a slightly deeper position. But
Lingard knows where the goal is, though, man. And Lingard takes on the man. I wouldn't mind seeing Lingard up top, man. I honestly wouldn't. Why not try it? See what happens.
James,
do you lose a little bit of something, Peach, if you have him up top? Because obviously he's operating further forward. He's not in the engine room, so to speak. But then you got Ben Rama that can control the number 10 things, and then Fornals. We miss Fornals so much, and we miss Masuaku so much. I know
Masuaku, homeboy doesn't do anything in the final third of the back third, but he does everything in between, like with his dribbling and things. And it's like we missed that, man. We honestly missed that. We can't play a 5 at the back without Masuaku. I don't care.
James?
Me, I think a 4-3-3 system, and Fornell's coming back, and he can slot back into midfield. 3-man attack.
Yeah.
You can have Bowen, Benrahma, and Lingard as your 3. The reason why I'm saying this, Antonio, I'm not knocking the lad, but he's supposed to be a striker, and I'm going to put it to the panel right now. Yeah, our lone player that we've got who come in at January is near enough catching up Antonio for goals of so far this season.
Yeah.
Like, I'd like Gatesy to sort of get up the statistics that I think Antonio's got how many goals this season, and Lingard's near enough caught him up, right? Yeah, I know he's had a few injuries.
Lingard's got 5.
Lingard's got 5. How many Antonio got? About 8, I think.
Give me a moment. I'll just find it out.
Right.
I think it's 7. I think it's 7.
I was going to say it's about 7 or 8, isn't it?
Yeah.
So I'm going to ask everyone this.
He's had injuries.
He's had yeah, but he still played games like at Crystal Palace.
The problem with his injuries, he's always going to have injuries. That's his problem. That's just the way he's built.
I think he's getting far too much disrespect from our fan base. Honestly,
I wouldn't say it's disrespect.
Hold on a minute. Can I say this, Joe? Just 1 second. How can we be disrespecting a man who's supposed to find the net?
No,
Right. Any striker, hold on a minute, any striker in the league, right? We could go and sign anyone, right? His job is to put the ball in the net. Half the time, right? He scores a good goal from time to time. He's a good player, right? But I agree with Peach on this one. 30 minutes to go, bring them on as an impact sub. Fuck me, that's a bit of me. Is he going to score you 15 goals a season? I have a bet with you right now. He won't because he's not a 15-goal a season, mate. He'd be lucky to score 10.
He's not going to be fit enough to play the games to get 15 goals a season. That's the problem with Antonio. That's his issue. Those hamstrings. And to be fair, and again, I'm not meaning to be disrespectful to Antonio. I'm really not. But
7.
After this season, 7. After this season or next. Does he have another season in the Premier League?
No.
Like as a first choice striker. He doesn't, does he?
I really
that comment there, Steve, I completely agree with that.
Yeah.
What it's worth.
Defensively. But I've got something to say to all of you. I know I completely agree that Antonio's finishing is Stevie Wonder-esque. He's not good enough in the final third, and I personally prefer him on the left wing. But how many goal contributions? I want to see what you say. Do you reckon he has in his last 24 games?
Who's this, Antonio?
Yep.
Well, we
24 starts, that is. Last 24 starts.
How many games have you played this season? That include the 4 goals against Norwich last year.
Yeah, that does include the 4 goals against Norwich.
He's been involved, I'd say, in probably... Are we talking assists or key
assists
passes?
And goals. Assists and goals.
I'd say between 15 and 18.
I'm going to go 18.
James?
18.
Andy?
15.
22.
Wow.
See, that surprises me.
Yeah, granted. Yeah, 22. Yeah. But how many goals he scored? Strikers are known for goals. I ain't worried about his assists. He can assist us all day long. He can assist us all day long, man. Like Harry Kane's like one of the top strikers in the Premier League, if not one of the top strikers in the world. Right? Mikel Antonio at West Ham United this season, 2021 season, scored 7 goals. Justify that to me, please. Because I'm not being funny. And it says it all sorry, Andy, but it says it all to the rest of our players. While we're 5th in the league. Do you know what I mean? We're 5th in the league because like Souček, who's our defensive midfield player, has got more goals than him. Now justify that to me and all.
Okay.
Please.
I will justify it. His form overall, I agree. It hasn't been as good at the end of last season as it was at the end of last season. Sorry, but the reason why he's not got more goals than Souček is obviously because of his injuries. I'm not saying he'll have loads of goals, but I think he'll definitely be in double digits if he didn't get injured.
How many games has he played this season? Can someone tell me?
What, Michail Antonio in the Premier League?
Yeah.
17.
So he's played 17 and he scored 7 goals. So that's what? That's one goal every sort of 4 games. We started off every game, innit? Let's be honest. Whenever he's fit, I don't think I've seen him get stubbed this season.
It's just a little bit off of 1 in every 2 because obviously it's 7 goals, 17 appearances. So obviously it's just short of 1 every other game.
Right now have a look at Lingard. He scored 5 in that.
He's got 5 and 7.
Him to a guy who's been the best, who's got more goal contributions than anyone else since he joined the club in the whole league.
No, hold on a minute. He played for Man United. He made 3 cup appearances and hadn't played for X amount of time. And let's not talk about all that time off and all that game. He's come to the club. He's embraced the club and he scored 5 goals in 7 appearances. And Michail Antonio played 17 times and scored 7 goals. Thomas Souček's got 9 goals. Bowen's got 5 goals. I mean, if we're going to start going around statistics, and this is when people say about Haller, people slag off Haller, right? And then people go up.
Haller was 1 in 2, wasn't it? His goal contribution, considering from starts, it was 1 in 2. But we can talk here all night and saying we need this, we need that. I'm thinking long term. If I had the money, obviously we'll get Lingard on a permanent deal, obviously, and the players who I'll go and get is Sam Maximin from Newcastle, and I'll go and get Chris Wood from Burnley. Everyone may look at me saying Chris Wood from Burnley. If you look at his stats and his physique on and off the ball, he would be perfect for this team.
Sorry, Andy, who was that? I was just replying to a message on one of the comments. What was that you were talking about?
Chris Wood and Sam Maximin from Newcastle.
Yeah. Sam Maximin will be. See, my only concern with Sam Maximin is that essentially he's a left winger, which is obviously at the moment where we deploy. I was about to say where's Pete's gone. It's where we predominantly deploy Ben Rama at the minute. So my concern with going out and getting some Maxim is that he replaces the £25 million buy that we've got, who I think is, for me, doing a generally a decent job. I'm going to ask this of all of you. So this comment here, Gatesy, quick yes or no.
Yep.
Would you take Rico Henry from Brentford?
Yes.
To replace Cresswell next season?
Yes.
James?
100,000% yes.
West Ham?
I'd take him, but I will warn you, I don't think he's that great defensively, but I'd take him.
Andy?
100%.
All right, you've got a choice of one of 2 then, Ivan Toney or Rico Henry to come out of Brentford next year.
Tony
from West Ham?
I'd probably go Tony.
Tony's next class. He's the one I want the most. Absolutely class.
James?
Toss up between Tony and Armstrong for me, mate. I think Armstrong's phenomenal. But
if you could get Armstrong,
he's only scored about.
Go on.
It's his pace, though, Rob. Rob is his pace, mate. He's lightning quick. You imagine you've got 3 lightning fast players running all over the place. One thing with us,
and I don't know if you saw this, but Gio on Hammer's Chat did an interview with one of the Blackburn fan channel's main men, and even the Blackburn fan turned around and said that he's not 100% sure that he would fit into a David Moyes type of team in terms of his tracking back and helping out, sort of like defending from the front, if you will. And that was coming from a Blackburn fan.
Yeah, guys, I have a lot of You go, Andy.
No, but he's going to say that. He's a black. He's going to say that. He don't want to. Like we're saying.
Libby, can I get a cup of tea? Rob, get a little bit of
He ain't
mate. One,
gonna
sure,
say.
I've got one down with
He
you.
ain't going to say he's world class, is he? He ain't going to say it's like us going on the Manchester United channel and saying, "Nah, Declan Rice, mate. He wants
I think he was on the level. To be honest with you, I don't think he was. He had an ulterior motive. I think he was on the level, but
the reason
I know a lot of Blackburn fans who say Bradley Dack is their best player by far when he's fit, and Armstrong misses so many big chances. If you think Antonio misses big chances,
he'll fit right in then with Antonio, wouldn't he?
Don't fucking play them up front together. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, but you've also got to understand. You've also got to understand another thing. The lad's only what, 22, 23? He's 22, 23. Like, so he's got like. Look at Bowen, for instance. Right, when people go, oh, I don't know about Bowen. I don't know whether he like what he'd be like. Do you know what I mean? That's the one. What Scott says there is bang on about El Nesri. I don't see the fascination with the lad myself, but obviously others do.
I would rather have seen us. Like I know we were linked in January to Chan at Leipzig. Is he at Leipzig?
Yeah, I think.
Yeah, he is. He was at Salzburg, wasn't he? He was at Salzburg. He's now at Leipzig. I would have loved to have seen him get him. I think he knows where the net is. He proved that last year at Salzburg. He's got pace. He's not the most physical out there, but like James was just saying, the same with Armstrong. Armstrong isn't the most physical presence. And I know we're used to having that with Antonio at the moment. But as I said on Saturday, I think it was, and James, you were there when I said it. For me, and listen, I don't care whether anyone else agrees or disagrees with what I'm about to say. At the end of the day, it is what it is. But for me, Antonio offers two things. He offers pace and he offers power. That's it.
Yeah.
He doesn't offer anything in the way of skills. He doesn't offer anything in the way of a goal-scoring, predatory kind of striker. He doesn't offer that. He offers pace and he offers power, and sometimes that pace and power gets him into a position where he will go and he will put the ball in the back of the net. Yeah, I saw it. He will do those jobs. And it's commendable that for that he can do that job, but he doesn't offer us anything else, like James says, with the movement off the ball to, like a normal goal scoring striker would. He makes the wrong runs. We saw it on Sunday with going front or back post for the cross. We've seen it over and over again from him. You look at the game against Palace with the posts and the woodwork that he hit. He's not a natural instinctive finisher. We would miss the pace we would miss the power if we went for someone like Armstrong or Chan. Or even there's a couple of other young lads. One that plays in Austria for Salzburg, Adeyemi, Karim Adeyemi. Patson Dak is another great shout. And Waman Gituka plays, I can't remember who plays for out in Germany. But there's four there that offer a great deal of pace, but are also natural strikers and natural finishers, which for me is the one thing that Antonio isn't. And I'm not saying that Ben Rama is, but Ben Rama is a skillful player and will create space.
Let's put it this way, right? Come the summer, it's the summertime, the sun's shining, we're all out having a barbecue and enjoying life. And then West Ham go and approach.
You're not invited.
Cheers, mate. We're enjoying life, and then we hear the news that West Ham have approached Chelsea for Abraham. Would you be happy with that?
Well,
listen,
now,
him in that corner will be he'll have to skip off. He'll have to skip off to the toilet, him in that corner, because he would love life, old Gatesy. He would be loving life. Go on, Gatesy, take this one.
Steve put the comment in. I mean,
I get that.
To take him all day long.
I'm on full screen. I'm not seeing the comments until you put them up.
Yeah, I mean, Steve's come in. He said Tammy Abraham. I mean, you'll bear me out, Duke. And I think I did a video on this, didn't I? And I mentioned
You did?
Tammy
Yep.
Abraham. I'd take him all day long. My manager at work is an Aston Villa fan, and I questioned him on Abraham, and he turned around and said, you know, all this about attitude or this, that, and the other, because I think you Duke that said about the attitude, you wasn't too sure. It was a bit of a question mark for you. And he turned around and said he was absolutely top draw for Aston Villa. You know, he was hardworking. You know, there was no bad attitude that he saw, and he was on loan there, I think, for the best part of 18 months. So he saw him up close and personal for quite a while. Yes, it was in the Championship, but he's scored goals in the Premier League since then. He's 23 years of age. He's English. He's not got rapid pace, but he's quick enough. He's strong. He can shoot with both feet. He's decent in the air, and his peak years are ahead of him. Now, for me, I think that's the sort of player we should be going for, isn't it?
100%.
I personally do like Abraham, and I think his movement's brilliant. Sorry, his movement is brilliant in the final third, and you'll see he scores a lot of tap-ins, which is great for a striker, and he did it against us. The one thing I have to say though is I have noticed that he was a bit stroppy at times on the pitch. But if that Aston Villa fan is saying he wasn't like that at Villa, maybe it's a Chelsea problem or something like that. Because as I said, Abraham's movement is his best attribute, and I wanted to touch on that because Andy analysed that photo of the Rice run yesterday, and what I thought Antonio should have done is dragged Luiz with him so that Rice could go through on goal. And I think that's what a smart striker like Abraham would have done. So I think that's Abraham's best attribute, if that makes sense. His movement in the final third is really impressive.
Yeah.
It's a big summer.
I like Abraham.
It's a big summer for us. Like, as I keep, like, we've all talked about this recently, about the financial state of the club and how much we've got to spend. I'm telling you now, we need to make sure that our strikers are there, because if we're all sitting here come September or like beginning of the season, and Antonio's our only striker at the club, then you're asking for trouble, ain't you? You know what I mean? Because if he ever goes down, as fans here, we are very lucky that a lot of our big hitters haven't gone down. Declan Rice, Souček.
Yeah.
Like if just for argument's sake, them two go down, we've got no midfield. Connor Coventry and Mark Noble.
That's
Listen,
one level.
Yeah.
Right, listen. I want to touch on this before we wrap up, because the conscious have been going an hour. If come September, James, and we're sitting here, or come September and Antonio is the only striker, it'll be you, Milesy, and Gatesy that are doing these videos, because I won't be coming on, because I can't be dealing with that again. Like jelly hamstrings. Because I'm telling you now, as he gets older, that problem's going to get worse, and it's going to take longer to recover from it. And this is, for me, going back to what we were saying earlier, this is where we need to start managing him. This is where we need to start being careful with him. Like you say, last 20 minutes, last 25, last 30. That's where he's dangerous. That's where he can come off the bench and explode. That's where he can come off the bench and do a job. But for me, I think we need to start. Oh, Steve, no. I think now we need to start. We need to start.
He was never played in the right position, though, Duke. He was always played wide.
Yeah, again, no.
Let's be honest here. If Chicharito was in our team now with the other three behind him, and he was now forward,
maybe.
Do you know what I mean? So
maybe I'll say maybe.
The problem is with it, like, obviously, I know you've got to wrap it up soon and all that. The problem is with it now, obviously, after the game on Sunday, we're all deflated and all that. But the way I look at it is, we've got 9 games to go, right? We're in a situation now where we've just got to treat every game basically like a cup final, as I've been saying, until we end now. And I just look at it like this: if we can get any sort of European football from Conference to Champions League, I don't. After yesterday, it just proves it on the subs bench that we ain't going to get Champions League. If we get Champions League, it's the best achievement I've ever seen at West Ham, ever.
Yeah, I agree with you.
It'd be that would be, and I actually think that might even surpass like I know it might be
Yeah,
mad, but
Toto?
anything that we've ever done, even the FA Cup final or something. Because if you look at our team on paper, we've got Craig Dawson. There's a 2.2 million pound
anywhere
signing.
near it. Yeah,
Right. You got Kafau at 5.4, and then the rest of them are all sort of like borderline mid signings, if that makes sense. Mid money signings, 15 million, 20 million, 25 million. Yep. So if we do get any sort of European football, it's a bonus. But the problem is with that, if we do get European football, we've somehow got to cater for 2 competitions next year. And when you look at our team, it is so light. And do you know what? What's shocking? And I've seen it over the last 2 games. The bench, how light the bench actually is. When you look at the bench now,
goalkeepers drives me mad every time.
I just can't work that one out.
We don't got no depth, man.
I'll tell you what we're going to do, guys. We're going to wrap this up soon, as Duke said. I'm going to fire out, though, because I think we know that the funds in the summer are going to be quite limited, I think it's fair to say. So I wouldn't be shocked if we're sort of shopping for a few bargains. Now, there's 2 names that I've seen recently that I think could be available at a bargain price. In fact, one of them's available for free in the summer. So I'm going to fire 2 names at you, and we'll go round and see. And if it was an either or, which one you'd go for? Okay, so the player that is got he'll have 1 year on his contract in the summer, is Alexander Lacazette, who we obviously saw up close and personal yesterday. He's got 1 year in his contract to have in the summer. He's 29 years of age. Or, and this guy's available on a free, 27 years of age, Memphis Depay. Discuss.
No, none of them. Armstrong, dog. Bring in Armstrong, man. Come on.
No, if you,
I think she's made these perfectly clear.
Fair enough.
Can someone tell me what's going on with Memphis Depay? Because I know,
I've heard he's meant to be going Barcelona.
Yeah. Apparently he's having some success, where he's at right now. But Memphis Depay is a Man U reject. I don't want him. Apparently he's doing all right though, James. Where he's at, I don't know where he's at, but apparently he's doing all right.
The problem is, right, it all weighs up at where we finish in the league. If we finish in the Champions League positions, we could go to anywhere and get any player out of any club, because we go, right, we've got Champions League football here, mate. Fancy it? Lovely.
Yeah.
We should go, and I'll tell you a player that I would take. I know he's a bit injury prone, perfect midfielder for us, but maybe he needs a little bit of lease of life. He's Oxlade-Chamberlain at Liverpool.
100%. 100%.
His injury record.
Yeah. That's
the only problem. But if we can get a fit Oxlade-Chamberlain, we've got a decent player there. Do you know what I mean? I think if you look around, forget Man City, because you're shopping at Arrods and we shop at Poundland. But but there's if we're gonna look at this in a sort of in-depth way, go to Fulham. Fulham have got 3 or 4 good players in their team. They've got the goalkeeper, they've got Lookman. They've
Ruben
got
Loftus-Cheek, dog, all day long.
Yeah, Ruben Loftus-Cheek.
I don't think Kieran's sold on either one of them.
Yeah. Do you know what I mean? And basically go around that, because if Fulham go down, then you can go and get Lookman out of Leipzig for peanuts, really. Do you know what I mean? Especially if he wants to come back to England. There's a lot of good players about, but obviously we need to sort of act fast. And the problem that we're all sitting here thinking is he has to make sure, this board have to make sure that they sign Jesse Lingard. They have to make sure that
100%.
And it should be on the first day of the transfer window that is done
already.
Done.
James, can I ask you quickly? Would you rather we sign Lingard and nobody else, or sign 4 key positions?
Lingard and nobody else.
I'm not being funny. That's an unanswerable question, because the way I look is we need about 6 players. You said to me,
not many. We do.
Right, if you said to me, well, would I sign Lingard, Dawson, and 2 more signings, or a complete different 4? Then I would probably say Lingard, Dawson, and 2 other signings, because I don't think we're far away, gents. Right, if you look at that, right, let's be honest here, right, before we all go, right, that team like yesterday, that front 4, we can all agree would probably be our our first choice front four. Would any of us not agree on that? Like with Lingard, Benrahma, Bowen, Antonio as a front four, yeah? Right.
Yeah.
The dream team sort of picks itself in Rice and Souček, yeah? So we'd probably say we'd have that and all, right? The right hand side defender, right back, Kufal, I think none of us would not agree that he's the right back. And then basically, when you weigh it up, it's the three centre halves. Like there's two centre halves and the left back. That we're looking short on. So we look at it like that.
James, have you seen that? I haven't seen him, but I've heard about him. Have you seen that Sima play for Slavia Prague?
That's the man I want. That man is phenomenal.
Boom.
James, are you worried? I'm not sure if you are, but are you worried about the fact that he's mainly plays on the right for Slavia? He's not. Oh, see you later,
Andy. I'll speak to you tomorrow.
No worries.
Oh, love you, Andy. Be good, my son.
Cheers,
Take care.
How do you mean?
Mate.
With Seema, I think he can convert into a centre forward. Like he's built for it. He's great in the air. Like look at his goal against Leicester. Like the way he took that ball down and smashed it into the bottom corner. And Slavia know they've got a talent there because they won't let him go.
So you've seen him play before? I haven't. He's good, huh?
He played against Leicester in the Europa League, mate, and scored a goal and basically got them through to the next round. And
I didn't see that, man.
If someone said to me right now, you're going to go and sign Lingard, Dawson, Seema, and one more player, for whatever position, midfield or whatever, I'd be happy. I'd be happy because I know Seema can do a job. I
love that. I trust you, man.
And I think it's a big window, the summer window, and I do not stress it enough that this summer will decide if these owners are with us or against us, in my eyes. And if they are with us, that 60 million doubles up to 120 million.
Yeah.
Right, listen, I've got a plan for tomorrow, Gatesy. We were talking about, and James, we were talking about view from the terrace, weren't we?
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I've got a bit of a plan for tomorrow because we were going to do it Tuesday live, weren't we? At about 8 o'clock, same as this, for about an hour again.
Mm-hmm.
Can do.
Yeah. I've got a plan for tomorrow. I'll put it to you two over the course of later tonight and tomorrow about some plans that I've got for, especially for tomorrow's one, which I think will be a good start. These two boys and Andy, if they're about, and anyone else that wants jump on for 5 or 10 minutes at a time, to give their opinions. That's what we're going to do. But we'll start with me, Gatesy, and James to kick it off. Anyone else wants to join us, they're more than welcome to. We'll have a bit of you can come in, Peach, West Ham, you as well, Andy. Anyone else that's watching that wants to come in as well are more than welcome to. We're going to start at about 8 o'clock. View from the terrace will be an opinion thing. Gatesy, do your stuff and sign us out. So
hold on, before he does that, Duke, what are you having for dinner tonight? Or have you already had dinner? Because it's like, 6, 7, 8, 9.
Thank you, Scott.
It's 9 o'clock already. What did you have for dinner?
9 o'clock now, Peach. I've already
What
had
did you have for dinner,
dog? What did I have? That's a good point. I had a homemade chicken and pasta bake, Peach.
Oh, go on, my
Peach,
son. James, what did you have for dinner, my G?
I Kentucky Fried Chicken and chips.
That's what I'm having tonight. What?
That's what I had. That's what I had.
Spud me, dude.
James, I had that.
West Ham Online. What did you have?
Chips and gravy and coleslaw, dog. That's what I'm having, dog.
I went for a bit of the KFC as well.
He went with KFC.
Gatesy, what did you have for dinner, dog?
Tortellini, wasn't it, for dinner?
God, he's living the high life, isn't he?
Tortellini.
The chef.
Gatesy, I have a question. Gatesy,
yes,
how's
mate.
Hippo?
Say that again. How's the hippo?
She's fine. She's fine. They're inquiring about your well-being, dear. I just got a disapproval.
Just wondered if she had enough water in her pond.
Thank you, Steve. Much appreciated. And same with Kieran for your thanks and good words.
Big up Kieran, man, all the way from Australia. Big up Kieran, man.
So, guys, we're going to wrap it up now, but I'm going to do my usual shout out to Isla. So, guys, any of you that are watching either live or watching it later, listen up because this is really important. So, Isla's Army. This is about young Isla Caton. She's a 6-year-old girl. She is suffering with neuroblastoma. This is a really aggressive, rare form of cancer that tends to afflict children. Now, this is no treatment available on the NHS. She can't go to her local hospital and get treatment. So her family have got to put their entire life on hold and take this poor little girl to wherever it is they've got to go to try and save her life. They've got to pay for the treatment. They've got to pay for their bills in the UK. They've got to pay for their accommodation wherever they're going, getting there. You name it, they've got to pay for it. As well as dealing with the fact that their 6-year-old daughter is sick. They need help. It's as simple as that. They need our help. So if there's anything you can put into the pot, whatever it is, no matter how, there's no donation that is too small. If you can put in £1, thank you very much. If you can put in more than that, brilliant. You've got a PayPal page. You've got a Just Giving page. I ask you to dig deep, give as generously as you can. And if you can't because times are tough, I completely appreciate that. Thank you very much for listening. But the only thing I would ask you to do, guys, is to take this message and share it to your contacts, share it far and wide, because it might well be that someone that you know has got the means to be able to help this family. We need to try and get this as soon as possible, guys. The clock's ticking. And as I say, with every day that goes past that this girl hasn't got the treatment to try and keep her going and sort of like into adulthood and sort of like live a full and fruitful life, every day that goes past is another bit of odds that are being stacked against this poor girl. So please, 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 I ask you to consider this. Do the right thing. Thank you very much indeed for listening. Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, we've come to the end of the broadcast. I'd like to thank James Fatboy Fever.
Big up, Fatboy.
I'd like to thank the Canadian cyclone known as Peach.
Big up, Peach.
And the Phantom from parts unknown, West Ham Online.
Big up West Ham Online, Duke and Gatesy.
Despite the fact that you and Duke were trying to stitch me up with hippo photographs and all the rest of it.
Hippo gate, how do you mean?
Terrible. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much indeed for watching. I'm Gatesy. I'm not Marty the Zebra, despite what it says on the screen. That's Duke. We are Forged from Iron. You can obviously follow us at Forged Talk on Twitter, Forged from Iron at Facebook, and there's also an Instagram, which is _forged_from_iron_.
I'll be following that.
There you go. Thank you very much indeed for listening, guys. Only one thing left to say.
Come on, you Irons!
Oh!